How to find a great quality substitute. We all go on holiday, we all have other commitments that come up from time to time. Of course we wouldn't expect you to be at your BNI meeting every single week. It's really important to maintain your integrity within the group, that someone represents you when you know that you've got to be away from the group, because people can see that you've made that effort, and of course your business is represented, especially for the visitors who might never come back again, but it's great to get that exposure for the visitors too. There are some suggestions and a couple of rules on substitutes that I'd like to share with you to help you get the most from that experience. First of all, we highly recommend you make a list of substitutes that you can call on to ask to stand in for you when you know you can't attend your chapter meeting. There's a list of people you might want to consider to ask to be a substitute. The first kind of person that people typically ask to be a substitute would be a member of another BNI chapter. And what we call that is, it's kind of the worst of your best list. They're great people and it's great to ask them, but there are some other opportunities to ask people to stand in for you that actually might benefit you even greater. Let me explain what I mean by telling you a quick story. So I remember as a brand new member going to Member Success Program training and seeing the BNI presenters talking about how to get a great substitute. And one of the recommendations is, and was at that time, ask a customer. Now, if you're listening to this now, you're probably thinking the same thing that I thought when I heard that, because I sold utilities to homeowners. A lot of my customers were little old ladies that lived out in the countryside, had no business at all. And I honestly thought when I heard that, you must be joking. I am not going to ring up my customers and say, would you mind getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, driving half an hour down the road and doing some public speaking to a bunch of strangers that you've never met. That's quite a tough sell, right? And for about 6-7 months, honestly, I just asked other members. I was fairly good at doing that, but I didn't ask anyone else. And then I remember quite distinctly, I knew I was going to go on holiday. I had a few weeks notice in advance. I'd booked it all up. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to try it the way BNI suggests and see what happens. And I got my list of customers out, and I started to phone down that list. You know, 1 or 2 people said no, you know, I'm just not an early morning person, or I'm not really a people person, you know, I'm not comfortable doing that. And then I got to this lady who I'd helped, and I'd really gone the extra mile to help her, and so she kind of felt like she owed me a favour in return. And she said, yes, Jonathan, I will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I will happily drive half an hour down the road to your chapter. I'll meet a bunch of complete strangers and I'll do some public speaking on your behalf. She didn't quite say it like that, but that is what she agreed to. And I was incredibly grateful to her. Now here's the thing. When she went to that chapter meeting, she passed the accountant a referral worth £20,000. There is no way I'd have known of the opportunity to make that introduction or of her need at all. It was quite a personal need that she had, but it was a massive referral for the accountant. And because of that and 1 or 2 other things, he became one of my key referral partners within the group. And he wouldn't naturally have been necessarily that natural a fit, but he just wanted to help me because I'd helped him indirectly. So that's a great way to really establish strong credibility. Ask a customer. Another great suggestion is ask a supplier. Or actually one of the best is ask a colleague. If you're not on your own in business, ask someone else from your company. But the customer one's so powerful because people believe a third party more than they'll believe you. If someone comes in and says how great you are and they've used your services, that will really underline how great you are at what you do. There's one category of people that we would respectfully ask you never ask to stand in for you, and that is BNI alumni, ex-members of BNI. There are some wonderful people in this category. I have best friends in this category, people that I would go to the ends of the earth to help. However, I would never ask them to stand in for me at a BNI meeting. And the reason is simple. As a one-off, no harm is done. It doesn't really matter to anyone. But when an ex-member comes back, they know the drill. They know how BNI meetings work. So someone else in the room might need a sub for next week, and they might just ask them to stand in for them the following week. And before you know it, that sub is turning up most weeks and getting all the benefits of BNI membership without any of the accountability, without any of the giving that's necessary, or without paying for their membership, which isn't fair and respectful on all the BNI members who have committed to giving and to committing to their membership. So we'd ask you to avoid ex-members, please. However, there's some great opportunities you can get by selecting a good quality substitute. If you need any further guidance on this, please speak to your chapter president, mentor coordinator, or director consultant.